introduce. Hello everyone. Welcome to Spectrum's first professional development lunch talk for the spring 2022 semester. Today we have Ryan Fifley, who is I think, fifth year graduate student here at GMU. And he is, he does work with Professor Shobita Satyapal on dual AGNs and mergers and some really cool stuff. But today he is here and he's going to talk to us a little bit about how to create a website or how to create a professional looking website for yourself and how to do that with resources from GMU. So without further ado, take it away, Ryan.
All right, thanks, Michael. So I just need screen sharing privileges.
Oh, all right, let me do that.
Here we go. And let me go ahead and just share my desktop here. I just want to test this real quick. So I'm going to share this. You should be able to see. Can you see my cursor and everything moving?
Yep.
And then if I switch over here, can you see as I switch to these?
Yep. I can still see it.
Okay, good. Let's see. Here's my PowerPoint. There's their. Okay, cool. All right. So thanks, Michael. I'm going to talk today, like you said, about building personal student web pages, and in particular, building them for free, which is always a good thing. So let me go ahead and minimize this bubble here. Thank you for having me, of course. So one thing you might be wondering, if you're a student tuning in, after we've recorded this, you might be tuning in and saying, well, why do I need a personal website? And so personal websites are good for people of any career level. So undergraduate, graduate level, postdoc, and of course, when you are a professional researcher, which includes postdocs, and grad students are professionals as well, and undergrads that are involved in research too. So, at basically every level, you want to have a website, and that's for a number of reasons. If my thing wants to proceed, there we go. So why build a web page? So number one, if you are an undergraduate, graduate school committees and faculty will look up your name after you apply. So it's important to have web presence, especially nowadays. So if they can easily find you on Google, if they can find a web page where you have information about yourself, what you work on, what your interests are, that really helps them. And it helps you as well, because you can market yourself beyond your application. So if there are things that you want to expand upon that you couldn't in your application, like things that you included but couldn't put enough details, you can add more on your web page. Likewise, if there's things you couldn't add to your application but you want to showcase, maybe it's outreach work or teaching abilities, stuff like that, even just hobbies, you can also showcase that on your website. So it gives these faculty members and search committees another view of you beyond your application. So it can be very beneficial to you as a student. Other researchers will look for you on the web for details about your work, so and your current status. So this is whether you're an undergraduate, a graduate student, a postdoc, or a staff scientist later on in life, or a professor. And so they might be looking you up to look into collaborating on a project, or if you're a student or a postdoc, they might be seeking new students or postdocs. And so the information on your webpage will allow them to gauge what work you're interested in, what your current status is, if you're looking for jobs. And of course, they might be looking to connect you to a student. Maybe they have a student that's working on a project that needs some help, and you have a specialty there that that you could help with. So so other researchers might be searching for you, and of course, other students may benefit from your website as well. So they might be interested in seeing what kind of research you're into, gathering information about your advisor. Maybe they're interested in coming and working in your research group, or they might be looking for new ways of marketing themselves as students or postdocs. And they're coming to your website because they've heard someone say, hey, this person has a fantastic website, they're really good at marketing themselves. go check out their website for some tips. And so they might come and see how you lay it out. So there's a variety of people that might be coming to your website for a variety of reasons. So that's really why you want to build a web page. And I guess I was supposed to be clicking through these as I said all that, but anyways. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up your personal web page at George Mason, and how you upload files, and how you make a really nice interactive and responsive web page. And so it's not going to be as hard as you think, because we're going to actually rely on a bunch of free templates, which we'll get to towards the middle or end. But right now, we're going to focus on actually setting everything up. So the basic steps are, we're going to follow the instructions here from George Mason's IT department. We're going to log into the Mason server using your user credentials. We're going to set up permissions for your web space. And then we're going to create the web files or fill in the templates, and then we'll upload those to our GMU server space. Now, GMU servers, they actually allow, they put aside 100 megabytes per student for you to upload documents to your Mason server. And so you can actually do that for either website, or if you have class projects you want to upload there, you can also use it for that. So the 100 megabytes of free space. So if you click on this link, you will actually be transported to a website that looks like this here. And so it'll go through the details of how to set up your personal website. And so the very first thing we want to do is, not only do we want to connect to the server, we want to actually turn on our web permissions. We want to set up the permissions so that our public HTML file, where our website files are going to be placed, we want to make sure people can actually see that from their browser. So number one, we want to make sure that you have the Cisco Anywhere Connect VPN. So if you want to log into Mason servers or computer clusters for Mason remotely, you have to have the Cisco Anywhere Connect VPN now, which when you have it connected, it has this little, can't see my cursor now for some reason. You'll see this any connect thing. You just log in with your Mason credentials. You log into vpn.gmu.edu/general. You log into that. It'll have you go through the two-factor authentication. So you'll pull out your phone, or you respond to a text message or something, basically to authenticate it, and then you'll be connected to the VPN. So once you're in the VPN, you're going to log in to through terminal. So I'm showing you the steps in Unix or Linux systems. I'll briefly touch on how to do this with a Windows machine, but this is really more focused for Unix and Linux users. I will say there are computer labs on campus that run on Linux. And so all the commands that I'm going to be running through here, you can run very easily from those computer labs, which are free to use, and you can go and log in. The ones that I know of that are on Linux machines, those are in Exploratory and Planetary Hall. So we're going to go to the terminal on a Mac, and we're going to log in. So I've actually logged in already here, but let me show you exactly what I'm going to do here. So let me go ahead and hit exit. So I closed my connection to the server. I'm still connected to the VPN, but let's go ahead and log back into the server. So I'm going to use the command SSH, and I'm actually going to be, I have a web presence already set up. So I'm actually going to be using Natasha's web space today to demonstrate things, because we have not yet set up her website, but we will soon. Hopefully this will be the beginnings of that. So let me just go ahead and SSH into her server space. So, and you will substitute, just like the slides show, your username at mason.gmu.edu. And ordinarily, you can just use the SSH command. For some reason, I have a privileges issue on my end, so I have to use the sudo command. I will touch on that briefly later, but be very careful. I just preface this, be very careful when you use the sudo command. It's very powerful and can be kind of dangerous. But let me just go ahead and get this loaded up so we can keep going. Uh-oh. That's strange. This just worked before. That's probably why. Well, that's not good. Give me 1 second. I apologize for this. I know what the issue was. So when you use a sudo command, you have to use your local password first before you try to log into the server. So if you take a second to think about things, which I have a hard time doing sometimes, it's easier to figure out what the mistake might be. So now we are logged into the local or the server, Mason server. So I'll use the list command ls, show you where we are. And so we're going to want to, once we're here, we're going to type this home web on command. And I don't think it's going to do anything here. There we go. Okay, so you can see right here, it says success, your home drive is now set up for web access. So now we can go through and start adding files. So that is the first big step. So we set up the privileges now. And so we'll proceed. So now we need to actually start uploading HTML files. So the easiest, most basic way to do this is to literally open up a text editor. And you could use Text Wrangler, VS Code, TextEdit, Vim. There's a wide variety of these text editors. I prefer VS Code, so I'm going to be using that. We're going to open that up, and I believe it's, let's see here. These are my commands because I'm lazy and I don't remember things. And I've gone ahead and I've just typed hello world, and I've saved it as index.html. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. You're going to save, you're going to type anything you want in this, and you're going to save that text file as index.html. Now, one way we're going to be modifying things is that we're going to be sort of previewing our template files or our web files locally first before we upload them, because obviously if you make changes, you want to make sure that they're correct before the website goes live. So we've made this HTML document. I have a folder that I've saved it to on my desktop, which is called website demonstration. So the index.html is here. You can ignore this for now. So I want you to go ahead and just double click on index.html. And that's going to pull up a browser. And you can see my hello world pops up right there. So this is how we're going to be testing our changes to our website templates. So basically, it's not live, it's not online. You can see right here, it's actually saying where the file is on your computer. So we'll be able to modify things as needed. So let me walk you through the example of how to now upload this HTML file. Okay, so we went through these steps. We're going to try to upload this now to our public HTML directory on the Mason server. So we're on a Unix machine right now. So we have a new terminal, this one here. I'm in the correct directory based on the pwd command. So I'm in the correct directory. If I use the list command, I can see our index.html. And so we're going to use the secure copy command to move our index.html file up to the Mason server using this command. So I have this typed up already. So I'll just keep this here for one more second. This is gonna be your path to the file. So this on my machine will be, something like, blah, blah, desktop website demonstration index.html. And then you'll use your username here to upload it to the home directory on the Mason server. So let me go ahead and grab my secure copy command that I saved here. Oh, I guess I didn't save that. Let's see. Since I'm in my directory, you don't actually have to list the entire path to the file. So since I'm in the actual directory, I can just say sudo secure copy index.html, and then we're going to do username at mason.gmu.edu :period. And then we're going to hit enter. It's going to ask me for my local password there, only because I'm using the sudo command. And then, of course, the password for the actual Mason account. And we can see that the index.html file was just uploaded. I apologize. I've got a little bit of lagginess on my end where my cursor kind of disappears for a few seconds, but you can see it was uploaded successfully, 100%. So if we go back over here where we were actually logged in, if we hit list, now we can actually see index.html just popped up, okay, where it wasn't there before. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move the index file into our public HTML directory. Okay, so I've just moved it there. You'll notice it's gone from the home directory, a CD or change directory into public HTML. You can find it right there. So now it's there. If I actually go, let's see if I can move this here. If I go to, let's see, mason.gmu.edu/tilde in the tooth, and you can see actually our folder immediately pops up. Oh, actually that's strange. So it looks like our this was an old template we had uploaded before. So for some reason the one that I want isn't showing up, and my cursor is disappearing. But what we should have seen was this hello world pop up. I'm not quite sure why it didn't, because it was before. Anyways, so that did show up. Let me just do, let me move this out of here. Let me try that again. So I had an old directory of file templates in there. So if I try that again, oh, there we go. Okay, so hello world, that's our original file. So, all right, we know how to now upload documents. Okay, we know how to upload our HTML files. But obviously, that's really a super simple way to do things. Oh, I guess I must have backtracked by accident. I apologize about that. I wasn't showing these commands here. So these are the commands again. So this is what we just went through. We uploaded things to the Mason server. If you're doing this from a Windows machine, there's many ways to do this using various applications. I don't use those applications. I do have a Windows machine at home, but I don't use, I think, let's see what the IT website says. I think they say to use PuTTY for Windows. I've never used that. I am aware that there is something called Windows Terminal that you can download from the Windows App Store. And if you open that up, the commands that you can type in Windows Terminal are identical to what you can on a Mac. So all the commands I've been using so far will work, and I tested the secure copy command earlier. All of those commands will work from Windows Terminal. So if you're on a Windows machine and you're fretting about this, don't worry. Just go to the App Store, download Windows Terminal, and then repeat these same commands in there, and it should work okay. And if it doesn't, just shoot me an email and we'll figure it out. So really should be as easy as that, hopefully. So obviously we don't want our websites to just say hello world or be kind of super basic HTML files. So instead of having to go through and learn tons and tons of HTML and CSS and Java or JavaScript, we're going to actually take advantage of free templates that are online that have been professionally developed. They're 100% free, they're fully customizable, and they're fully responsive, meaning that whether you're viewing the website from a phone or from a computer, the website will adjust its dimensions accordingly so that you have a professional looking website at all times. So there's dozens of templates to choose from. So if you go to 5htmlup.net, you can actually see a ton of these different templates here. And they have live demos for each one. So you can actually click on this and say, where's my cursor? You can actually click live demo and it will actually open it up and you can actually see what the template looks like with mock images and things put in. So you can sort of get a sense of what your website might look like, what you might want it to look like. So we'll go back out here and, like I said, there's about, I think I counted 44 or 45 templates last night. So there's quite a variety. And like I said, these are fully customizable and we'll go through that once we download these. So the one we're going to work with today It's called Prolog. So you'll do a free download. It's not going to download any malware or anything to your machine. It just downloads a directory with the templates in it. If you wanted more templates or to support the creator, you could pay for it, but obviously this is all free. So that will have downloaded to my download directory and yours as well if you're doing the same thing. So what I would do is then move this HTML HTML5 up -prolog directory into the website demonstration. So that's where I want all my files to be when I'm working on them. Okay. So we're going to go in and we're going to click into this folder, and you're going to see assets and images. And oh, I'm sorry, this was an issue from before. Let me just get rid of that one, and let me just move a new copy over. All right, so there's our new copy. So you'll see assets, images, index.html, and once again we can check the local version first. So we'll double click on index.html, and now you can see, here's the website template with it looks all nicely designed, but it's all just gibberish put in place. And so what we're going to do is once we've downloaded this, so we downloaded the template, we opened the folder, we looked at the local file, which is this here. Now we're going to edit the index.html file. And I actually think I've been ahead of myself here. So I cleverly added colors to my slides and didn't use them. So we downloaded the template of your choice. We opened the downloaded folder and moved it to where we wanted it to be, and we've inspected it. And so here's just a nice little diagram here. So we've opened the downloaded folder, we've double clicked on the index.html file, and we've looked at the template within the browser. And so, you can sort of get a sense of what you want to change right off the bat. So obviously you don't want to call yourself Prolog, and you don't want to change your name, maybe put your job title or something. You want to change this text and stuff. So we have some ideas of what we want to change. So let's go ahead and start editing the HTML file. And so just like how we made an HTML file before, I'm going to use VS Code, and I'm going to open the HTML file so we can edit it. So let me go ahead and, whoops. I'm going to open up, I'm going to close this one just so I don't get confused. And I'm going to open this index.html with VS Code. So this is what you're going to see when you open it up. And obviously it looks a little bit daunting at first if you've never worked with HTML or I mean, this is just HTML, not CSS. But if you've never worked with HTML, it can be a little bit daunting, but it is easier than it looks. As you work on your own website, you will learn HTML and you'll pick up tricks and stuff, and you'll learn how to do stuff. But for now, we're really just interested in filling out information. So the first thing we want to do is let's change the name here. So since this is Natasha's website, we can see here, oh, look, there's where her name and her title is. So we're going to change this to Natasha Latouf. And then we're going to change this to PhD student and NSF fellow. Okay. So let's just look at that change real quick. I'm going to click save. So I saved it real quick. And now I'm going to double click this again. And now look at that. Natasha Latouf, PhD student and NSF fellow. So it's really, really that easy to customize these things. Now, customizing colors and stuff is a little more complicated, but as far as changing the text and titles and all that stuff, much, much easier. Adding photos is very easy. So let's go ahead and I think I have a slide just showing this real quick. This is what we just did. So there was this filled in name that we went ahead and just adjusted already. So how about this section here? Well, that's going to be a little bit further down in the code. So let's scroll down here. And we can see, oh, look, hi, I'm Prolog. That's exactly what we want. So let's keep the hi. Maybe Natasha wants that. So we will say Natasha. And you'll see things like this where it says href. That means it's a URL reference or hyperlink reference. So you can actually add hyperlinks here so that the text, if you click on it, you can see it's underlined here. If you click on it, it'll take you to a different web page. So this is just one thing you'll come across as you're learning more HTML is how to add hyperlinks to things. We don't really need to mess with that for now, but maybe Natasha will want to change it later. And we'll just say, I'm a PhD student. Oops. You can tell I'm very good at typing. At GMU. And then I'll just, go ahead and delete the rest of this stuff because we don't really need that. We'll save that again and let's see how it changed. Maybe it didn't change super nicely, but let's see. Oh, there. Okay. So I got rid of all the extra fluff. Hi, I'm Natasha, PhD student at George Mason. So it's really that easy to change all this stuff. You can see this. You can see actually when you go through, there's ways of knowing sort of what you're looking at. So you can see this class. It's called button scrolly, and you can see this actually matches this nicely. So if I think if you click on this, it moves you down. Yep. So you'll have to play around with the different templates, but certain buttons do different things. So you want to play with each template and figure out what you like the most. But let's say we just want to call that, continue, as in keep scrolling down. So we'll just call that continue. And if I just refresh this page, continue, and then it rolls you right down. And so you can change all the headers and everything. These images will actually be linked to the images directory. So here's your images directory. You'll click in and you'll notice all of these sort of abstract color things that we see actually in the template. So if you look through here, we'll be able to actually find right here. I think this is down in the portfolio section. So if we look down here, all of those images are being labeled right here. So all of the pictures are mentioned here. So if we wanted to upload our own pictures, let's say we had travel pictures from a conference or professional headshots or something that you wanted to upload, you would just put your photos here in the images directory and change the naming convention, just like we would for the button names or anything else. Something cool about these templates as well is that they have these social media buttons, which if we look back at the actual HTML document, that's where, let's see, that's where these icon brands are. And so you can actually add a hyperref, so you can add a URL to your social media web pages. So Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, so that people will be reading your website and they'll go, oh, look, she's on Twitter, and they can click on it and pull up your Twitter account. So it's really helpful for connecting everybody to stuff. So now that we have sort of played with this, and we can talk more about this towards the end, but I want to make sure we get through all the content. So now that we've sort of played around with all of this stuff, we've edited the HTML document. We see how easy it is to customize things and add content to your page. Now we're going to compress the folder and we're going to upload it to Mason's server so that it's live. Okay, so one caveat here is that when I uploaded the HTML document before, that was just index.html, let me go back out here, just this single file, I didn't have to do anything special when I used the secure copy command. I could just upload the single document by itself. But if you want to upload a folder to the server, you have to first compress that folder. So on a Linux Unix machine, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tar that folder. And so the commands are here. I actually should have put them in my slides. And so if the slides are released online, I will make sure to add those. But let me just go ahead and let's just zoom in here. You're going to want to use this command. So you're going to say tar czf, and these specific characters stand for specific properties you're calling on the tar command. And so we're going to be calling the tar command. This is what we want the file to turn into. So we want it to be HTML up-prolog, which was the original name, .tar.gz. And this was the original folder. So this is what we are compressing. So if we do that real quick, let me just copy this command. I'll go over to my local area. So I have HTML folder right there. I'm going to paste that in and I'm going to hit enter. And so it looks like it didn't do anything, but if I hit list, we actually can now see the, if my cursor wants to work, we can actually now see the prolog.tar.gz. So now we want to upload this file. Okay, so we're going to now use the same secure copy commands as we did before. So I'm just going to bring those back up. So actually, I can just do this from scratch. Let's see, what's it called again? HTML, that's right. Oops. Oh, all right, so there's our tar. And so we're gonna upload it to Natasha's web space again. So we're gonna do username and to the home directory. Local password and her password. It might take a second. There we go. Okay, so it's now uploaded. And so if we go here, we hit list. Oops. If we look in the home directory, now we can see the compressed file that we just uploaded. So I'm going to go ahead and move that into the public directory using the move command mv. Oops. Because it helps to say what file you want to move. We're going to move that to the public directory. We'll change directories into public. And now we're going to uncompress those files. I'm actually going to remove the index.html file I uploaded before. So I'm going to use rm -r. Actually, I guess I'll need the -r index. So I've deleted that. And then I'm going to go ahead and decompress or untar that directory, which is going to be this command here. So I'm just using the tar command, extracting the contents. So we'll see what this does here. You can see it just decompressed all that stuff for us. So we hit list again. Now we can see our HTML5 Prolog folder. And now if I just remove the tarred folders because it takes up space, hit list, and there's our HTML5 Prolog. So now let's go and see if we actually can look at this without moving contents from the folders. Forbidden. Okay, so what we're gonna have to do, unfortunately, which I thought this might be an issue, is notice how if we look at the directory, we're in the username directory and the public directory, but we have to go another file folder down to reach the stuff we want, which is all of our HTML documents. So in order to do that, we're going to just go ahead and we're going to move all the contents using the star command up a directory. So you'll notice all of them are now missing because I moved them up a directory. We'll change back directories to go up. Now you can see all of your stuff here. And if we go back and we refresh, now it should be live. Yep, there we go. So here's the live template. It's fully, we can customize it some more, do some stuff with it. So we compressed our folder, we uploaded it to Mason server, and then we decompressed the folder. And just keep in mind that in order for this to take effect and be live, your index.html file needs to be in the public HTML directory. It shouldn't be any lower or any higher than that directory in order to work. Okay, so and like I said, you can just, if you just go to this here, your mason.gmu.edu/tilde your username/index.html, then your new page will be, if they're successfully uploaded, will be live, and you'll be able to see all the changes you made, and it should then be searchable. Now, one tricky thing about making your website visible is, well, the one tricky thing is making it visible. So, because if you Google yourself, even though you've just put a website up, it's not immediately visible on Google. So, oh, you can see I forgot to do something here, link. One thing you're gonna wanna do is add links to your web page on your social media accounts. So if your website link is on your social media, browsers will actually be able to parse through your social media pages, see those links, and make it easier for people to access them, because then it'll say, okay, this is the website, we need to add it to our list of websites. So make sure you add it to your social media accounts. You're going to want to register your website with Google. So there's a pretty easy way to do that. I apologize for not including the link there. I meant to do that this morning. But there is an easy way. If you just go to Google and you type in, register personal website with Google, it should come up with an easy way to do that, where you can basically tell Google, hey, here's my website, here's the address to it. And usually within a couple of weeks, they will update it, and then your website will start to show up in the search results. Another trick that helps with visibility is make sure you put your name in the title of your website. So for example, if I go to the browser, I've already searched myself, just to give you, illustrate this point, excuse me. So this is my personal website. So pull this up, it does some fancy things. I have my name here. I actually have in the name of the website, which you can actually put in the HTML document. In fact, if I show you up here, the title here, which is probably going to be in most of those templates, if you change that and add your name, that helps a lot, putting your name throughout the HTML document, because Google can then parse for your name. So if you search your name, it's more likely to show up in Google. And of course, the more hits that your website gets, more visibility, easier it is to find it. So a couple months ago, when I finished my website, I couldn't find it. It took a few weeks, and then I sort of slowly moved up on the list. So now when you search my name, I'm pretty close to the top when you search. So, and just to give you an illustration of some of these templates and what you can do with them. So this is a fully customized one where I downloaded a template. Unfortunately, one of my images is broken. I don't know why that is. It works on Chrome and doesn't work on, or this is Safari. Yeah. So, but I have different photos uploaded. I have my CV, where I've uploaded a PDF document and used a hyperlink to link it up, so you can see my full CV. I've added research pages, publication pages, conference pages, just to give you an idea of things that you can add to your website. So if I go to my work page, not only can you display the nice layout of the template, where you have sort of the side column, list stuff and different buttons, but I actually learned how to, I say learned, I really just copied and pasted embed links. So there's a YouTube video where I gave a talk. There's a podcast that I gave a talk in a few years ago. So you can actually do this with your websites as well, is if you have talks or podcasts or something that you were a part of that you'd like to display, you can go and learn, just Google, how to embed Spotify podcast or how to embed YouTube video. And usually it's pretty straightforward to do that. And you'll just sort of drag and drop their embed information into your HTML document. And then it'll be on your website. So there's really a lot of customization you can do, adding links and changing colors of stuff. Actually, one thing that was not in this template when I started using it was the fade in of this image. I actually went in and sort of hacked my way through the CSS code from one template, grabbed it and put it in the template I wanted, and then modified it so that it would actually do that. So when you start to learn how to do this stuff, you can add more and more to your website, make it more cool, more to your liking. So those were the tips for making it visible. I think that's my last slide. So I guess I will stop there because I've been talking and talking and talking, and I'm sure this is new to a lot of people. So if anyone has any questions, please let me know, and I'd be happy to go over anything that I've talked about. Yes, Michael.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Ryan. That was a very detailed and great talk, and I'm sure it'll be very useful not only for me, but for a bunch of students who want to make their websites. I do just have one question about the process of copying your files onto the Mason web server.
Mhm.
Why do you need to tar them first before you copy them? Can't you just do a secure copy with the -R to get everything?
Um, you know what, Michael? I have never actually tried secure copy with -R, which that might actually be something you could do. In fact, I could test that right now. And if this works, I will recommend that you just go back and redo this this entire presentation. So
I'm
let's just
sorry.
see. Let's see. Let's ls. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna secure copy -R. I actually have never tried that. All I've ever Googled is like how to secure copy a folder up, and people have always said no, you have to compress it first, which I was like, okay, fine. So let's see. We're gonna take the HTML folder and we're gonna do username mason.gmu.edu : period. Let's see if that works. Huh.
Did you do
Oh,
sudo?
yeah. So you can see actually one of the issues with actually don't know if that's good that's being shown or not. I'm going to go ahead and clear that. One of the issues that the secure copy command can have is that if you don't have the precise administrative privileges on your machine, you'll have to use the sudo command, which actually made us pause really quick and go back because I had something in red. Because I use sudo because I know more or less what I'm doing when I'm doing it, but the sudo command, like I mentioned very briefly, is a very powerful command because it overrides administrative privileges in some ways. But because of that, it can be very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing with it. So if you're watching this and you're like, oh, well, I'll just use sudo for everything, don't, because people have wiped their hard drives by accident because they were using sudo improperly and weren't being careful when they were using commands. So be very, very careful if you're not familiar with Unix commands and whatnot. Be incredibly careful when you're using that command because it is very powerful. You don't want to mess up your machine. So that's the big red flag warning. But let me go back here more to the point. What am I doing? I'm like scrolling through my slides. So I'm going to get back to my desktop. Yeah, let's do sudo secure copy -R HTML, and then I would just like to thank Natasha for allowing me to use her web space. I was worried about screwing mine up, and so she was very polite to allow me to use hers.
Anytime, if you want to practice and just keep on going, feel free, build the whole thing. It's totally fine.
Yeah, I think the last time we actually looked at building her website was a few months ago when I was building mine. See, if I'd known that, that would have made my life so much easier because I was scrambling to find my tar commands earlier. Yeah, I bet you, let's see, where's my cursor? If I go back into the home directory, yeah, there it is. So, all right. So let it be known that you do not need to compress your directory. I don't know why people were telling me online that I have to do it, but anyways, so if you use the recursive command for your secure copy command, which is this -R, that then you can upload the full directory without needing to actually compress it, which is easier. So
I mean, yeah, potentially you might have been told that if you're transferring large amounts of data, it could be faster if you compress it first.
that's true. So, that's true.
But in this case, it's probably not going to make a huge difference, I would think.
Yeah, I think it's probably, you might be able to, I think I just spotlighted somebody by accident. I didn't mean to do that. I was just clicking to see how many people we had. But yeah, I think it might do like a millisecond difference here. But otherwise, yeah, Sorry, it's easier to use the recursive command in general for this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, any other questions?
All right. Well, if no one else has any more questions for Ryan, then I guess we will stop it there. And let me just say one more time, thank you, Ryan, for that great presentation. And I'm sure it'll be very helpful to people who saw it today and who will watch it later on YouTube. Thank you everyone for coming. And I guess we will see you in 2 weeks for our next talk. So, and let me stop the recording.